Hi, this is another edition of Teen Tuesday, and I'm sitting here with my daughter, Vanyce.
Hi.
So, we just decided to jump on really quickly, and I'm really glad. I'm excited. She's growing up, and sometimes we actually have to schedule these times. Today, I want to talk about being friends with your teenagers. As mom, we've sort of, we say this thing, I'm not your little friend. But you are actually your child's best friend, and not in the sense of I go with you, I do everything with you, but you want to establish with your teenager that you're on the same team and that you like them. Not that I'm stuck with you. I've got to raise you, I've got to feed you. And I think I may have complained about that a little bit because she eats a lot. It's like she eats and I gain the weight. That's how that works in this house. But, tell me about feeling like being friends. And we did not rehearse this, so we kind of just sitting here. I literally said, get up, comb your hair, we're going to shoot. So that's why her hair is kind of, okay. But go ahead. She's still beautiful. But go ahead.
um, I think it's pretty important to have a good friendship or relationship with your parent because I know that it helps to call my mom my friend even though I don't go everywhere with her. I know that she's always on my side. I know I can always come to her and talk to her and tell her anything and talk to her about anything I need to get off my chest. So it's like having a friend there that's a real friend because you know that she's not going anywhere.
Okay. First of all, I'm looking at you on the screen. I need you to sit up. Sit up straight. There we go. There we go. Sit up straight. Okay. So, and what we're not going to do, we are not going to sit here and pretend like we're this model mom and daughter and we don't have issues. We have had all kinds of issues and struggles, which is why I wanted to do this. I've gone through things with my daughter that as a Christian woman who raised her in a God-fearing home, I didn't feel I had to go through. And V, give me a little insight um, as to where and how things go wrong. Because I think sometimes that church people, the word does say, train up your child in the way that they should go, and when they're old, they won't depart from it. They won't depart from it, but they stray, and you have to bring them back. So kind of tell me how. You know what I mean? Do you understand the question I'm asking you?
How?
What happens when you go from being this kid who believes everything mom says and does what mom says, to this teenager, he becomes rebellious, which we've had those issues with rebellion, with feeling isolated, feeling like I'm trying to control you. Uh, Tell me how that starts, because a lot of parents are struggling with that.
It kind of starts when we'll do something maybe that we know wasn't right and we have that guilt in the back of our head. So when our parents tell us, oh, you shouldn't have done this, why did you do this? And we already know that we shouldn't have done it, it kind of puts us down where, okay, we know right from wrong, but we still messed up, and it kind of makes us feel like we're not going to be able to get better, and we're going to keep messing up, and it makes us scared to come to you when we do mess up because we kind of think you're going to rub it in our face, like, oh, well, you should have done this, you should have listened to me, when really it's like, okay, I still need that guidance.
And one thing that I will say is that if you're teaching them right and if you're telling them right, do it consistently. I'm not saying badger them, but keep saying it because they do hear you. There were times when I was telling V things, and we again, without going into detail, we've had some really serious struggles where I had to really pray, and even I had to ask God to change my heart, because what I want to say to parents is to not take what your teenagers are doing personally. They're lost. They don't know what to do, and you kind of can't go with the when I was your age thing, because they're exposed to so much more, literally even through their phones and so much, and even now with the laws of the land and the teachers, everybody's telling them that everything is okay, that's not okay, and they have all these demonic forces coming at them. So we have to understand that. And there have been times when I felt like I absolutely was not getting through. I'm talking to her, she's sitting there, she's staring into space, and you can take it personally and lash out at them, which I have done. Or you can look at them and be like God, take the heart of God and look beyond the faults and see your needs. There are times when what she's doing makes me angry or it gets on my last nerves. Even with us trying to put this go online at night. I'm trying to tell her what I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to hurry up. And she's like, "But just do this." She's just sitting here looking at me. I'm sweating, and it's just those things. Um, but look at your child and allow, I won't say child, teenager, allow your love for them to overpower the irritation, the anger, the annoyance. They've always got to feel the love more than anything else. That's the only thing that makes them draw to you. There were times when my daughter was not talking to me. She was trying to rebel, and what was it that made you say, you know what, I'm gonna call my mom?
Because I always knew in the back of my mind that even when I did things wrong, that she wasn't going to judge me. She would always guide me in the right direction and help me. So every time I was in a situation, I trusted her judgment, and I would think back to the situation, and I would say, okay, um, I know I did something wrong, but I need to call my mom because it'll be something that she's told me about before, or she kind of has warned me about, and I'll think back to what she taught me, and everything that she says kind of stays in the back of my mind, even if I don't listen or do it when it comes time.
You had something that was really key. You said trusting my judgment, and that's something that doesn't change from generation to generation. I remember the same thing. My dad would tell me stuff, and I would say, yeah, okay, knowing that I'm not intending to do what he said do. But in the back of my mind, I trusted my parents' judgment. So I knew I was wrong. And that's a huge piece right there. Even if they're doing wrong, as long as they know that they're wrong, somewhere in there they have the intention of at some point making a decision to do right. Am I right?
Yeah.
That's how it was for me. Is that how it was for you? Or is for you?
Yeah.
But as Christians, as adults, man, we've got to be so careful not to let our lives be spotted. I know I test about my mom all the time. 50 years, I've never seen her do anything ungodly. So when my mom said this was right, I pretty much believed it, even though I decided I want to go try this because it looked like it's a little bit more fun. But when you have that basic understanding where they trust your judgment, and it does not mean that you have to be perfect and never make a mistake. I've made mistakes. You've seen me make mistakes. So even though you've seen me in situations where I may have messed up and made a mistake, why do you still trust my judgment?
Um, I think, well, not just because you're my mother, but like you said, I've seen you do things and I've seen things work for you, and I've seen kind of how you have like a logic or way with your priority. And
But it was so funny the other day. She texted me. I just cracked up. She goes, "Yeah, I think you're a prophet." Like, how did you put it?
I
She
said,
said,
I think you're a prophet from the Bible. Like in the next Bible, you'll be there as a prophet.
and it was so random. I'm just going about my day. She texts me, and I go, "Where did this come from?" So I laughed. She's like, "Oh no, mom, I'm serious."
It's like she'll tell me something. Even when I was in school, she would tell me things, and I would kind of push to the back of my mind because I would go to Sunday school every single Sunday. So I would remember, and I'd just push to the back of my head, like, okay, this was a Sunday school lesson. Then I'd get to class, and my teacher would say something related to something she said in Sunday school, and I'm like, oh wait, this is the same situation. So even if I didn't act on it or listen to what she said, somewhere along the line, I remembered what she said in the back of my head, and I was like, okay, she's probably right.
And see, that's what I even talked about yesterday when you weren't here on yesterday's live when I did the Millennial Monday
Mm-hmm.
in Sunday school. I just told them about that. I would always, I know if you're a freshman, you're probably studying biology. If you're a sophomore, you're probably studying chemistry or something like that. So I would always look for things, and when I was teaching that age group, I would always look for things in the lesson that coincided with where they should be academically. So, and it was so fun because when I would do that, I would see their eyes light up and their eyes perk up, and it taught them to tie the Word of God into everyday life. And honestly, that's what I do with the Sanctuary Academy. I don't just quote scriptures to you and tell you what Jesus said. I try to show you how to implement that in your everyday life because the Bible is our roadmap.
It's not really even yeah, with the Bible, but also in general, it's really helpful when you're trying to learn something and your parent can relate it to something going on in your life, because I know a lot of times we'll feel like our parents don't understand what we go through, what we see every day, or they don't know what we're experiencing. But I know history repeats itself, so things will come back, and they've been there, done that, lived it before. So it feels good when she says something and I see it happen, because now I'm like, okay, I have some type of guidance. I'm not the only one going through this. I know I can go back to her and ask her, and that goes for anything.
Yeah, and like I said again, there's no way, we would say that I don't make mistakes. We're not perfect. And, but going back to that friendship thing, yeah, no, I'm not running the streets with her. I'm not, when I say I'm not your friend, it means I'm not your little friend, or let me put it. It means that I'm not going to be in the street with you being reckless, being immature. If you want to be in your room with your friends and giggle and the things you do. I have my friends, she has her friends. We have different things that we do. However, she does have my DNA. And there is enough of me, my blood in her. And also, when you have God in the midst of it, the Spirit of God connects you. So there should be a way, it should be a time that we actually enjoy being together. And, growing up, with her growing up as a single parent, there were situations where I had to take her with me. There was just no choice. So I would take her with me. Remember, I can't say the name of the person because she's actually a famous recording artist. But we went to her house to direct a photo shoot, and it was last minute. I couldn't get a sitter. Remember that?
Yeah.
And I took her. I was like, "Baby, you gotta be good. Just sit there." When we walked in the door, she looked at me like she brought her child, and she had this beautiful house. Everything was white
Mm-hmm.
and glass, and she was looking like, "Okay, she brought this baby. I want this girl." I'm like, "Oh God, please be good." And she was. She was excellent. They became friends. She took her in the back and gave her greens and pound cake that night, and they became family friends of mine. And we can sit back and reminisce and talk about really fun stuff. Can you think of something really fun that we did? And that's where the friendship. I'll give you time to think. That's where the friendship comes in. It's not like, "Oh, I gotta take care of her because this is my baby." Um, it's really important to make them feel like you want them there and you enjoy being with them and that you even prefer being with them. And I have to say that for me, even going back, when I talk about my parents, especially my dad, he acts like he'd rather be with his family than anybody in the world, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Even with her, when it comes to my mom and me and my nephews and my daughter, he is in heaven. And I think as church people sometimes, what's the saying? We're so heavenly bound. We ain't no earthly good, but you want to value your family, your children, and let them know, man, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you were born. I'm glad you're part of my life, and I enjoy being with you. What's something that you consider really fun that we did?
Well, you're talking about like something big we did, or
Anything. No, it doesn't
So I
have to
think
be big.
honestly, my favorite thing to do with my mom is to be in the kitchen.
Because she's
Uh,
greedy and she likes to eat, but she doesn't help me cook.
I do help cook. I like to be in the kitchen though.
Yeah, she's my taster.
Cooking, especially baking.
I
I
would
know
like
when
to
I make,
bake.
well, I like to bake. So when I make pound cake, sometimes she'll come down and help me, and she'll joke about me not being able to count and helping me with measuring, for our baking. And pretty much everything I do with her is fun. Because we're able to bond and understand each other and communicate on each other's level. So
That is fun. It's funny you said the kitchen, and I tease her all the time because she works in coding and computer science. So she actually literally understands rocket science. I mean, she knows how it works, but she can't count. Like watch this. What's 9 times 7?
I,
I would just it's just one of those things. So but yeah, you enjoy it, and I understand from a parent's perspective. It can be stressful making sure the bills get paid, making sure they're clothed, and that they're fed. And sometimes once we do those things, it's like go to your room, leave me alone. But they need us there, even when they're pushing us away. They need us there. No, when she became a teenager, the most annoying thing she would do, I would call her in my room and I would try to get her to talk to me, and she just sit there looking crazy. She won't say anything. Then go in her room and text me all night. And I'm just like, you're in the next room. Why are you doing that? That is the most annoying thing ever. But then when I thought about it, I realized, okay, she has to go. I realized